just go through the homework here. Let's get the blackboard up. Get a pen we can write with. Let's go for yellow. So question 1 says find the slope of y-intercept. So we know that the slope has a formula equal to negative a over b. If we want to do it that way, 3x minus 2y equals 7. So the slope straight away will be negative 3 over negative 2, which equals 3 over 2. If we're going to find the y-intercept, we've got to solve for y. So we take the net 3x over, we get negative 3x minus 7, divide by negative 2, that gives me negative 3 over negative 2x minus 7 over negative 2. So y equals 3 over 2 because the negatives cross out, and the negatives cross out here too, 7 over 2. So the y-intercept is 7 over 2, and that's fairly easy. B, 6x plus 12y equals 1. So we know slope equals negative a over b. A is the 6 and b is the 12, so it's negative 6 over 12, which is negative 1/2. Of course, we can prove that in a minute when we go to slope intersect. Take the 6x over, negative 6x plus 1, divide by 12, so we get negative 6 over 12x plus 1 over 12, and simplify 6 over 12, we get negative 1/2x plus 1 over 12. So the slope is indeed negative 1/2, and the y-intercept is 1 over 12. Part C, we get 4x plus 2y equals 3. So slope is this negative a over b, negative 4 over 2, which is negative 2. And of course, if we solve for x, so for y, sorry, we get negative 4x plus 3, divide by 2. Negative 4 over 2 is negative 2x plus 3 over 2. And the y-intercept is this one here, which is 3 over 2. And D, last one, so I can squeeze it in. 3x plus y plus 1 equals 0. Just solve for y, it makes it much easier. Negative 3x minus 1. So the slope is negative 3, and the y-intercept negative 1. So slope is negative 3, and the y-intercept negative 1. Get a new board up. We're going yellow this time, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Find the slope of the line between the points. So this is question 2 here. So we know that A, slope, or M, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what we can do is x1, y1, x2, y2 becomes fairly straightforward now. So 4 minus 6 on top and 2 minus 3 on the bottom. So we get negative 2 over negative 1, which equals 2. B, same thing, x1, y1, x2, y2. So slope equals, let's write the formula out one more time. It's always a good idea to write the formula out every time. That way you remember it. So y2 minus y1, negative 3 minus 7. x2 minus x1, 10 minus 8. 10 minus 2, sorry. So negative 10 on top and 8 on the bottom. That reduces to negative 5 over 4. And C, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we get slope equals y2 minus y1, negative 3. Oh, let's get rid of that, sorry. Negative 3 minus negative 1 all over. x2 minus x1, 2 minus negative 4. Now anytime I'm subtracting a negative sign, I put brackets around. It's always a good habit to get into. Whenever you subtract a negative sign, a negative number, put brackets. So a double negative here makes positive, so it's negative 3 plus 1, which is negative 2. 2 minus minus 4 is 2 plus 4, 6. Top and bottom divide by 2, so it's negative 1 over 3. And D, same thing, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we know that slope equals y2 minus y1, 2 minus 2, over x2 minus x1, 3 minus 6. So we get 0 over negative 3. 0 divided by anything is 0. Nice and easy. And question 3, the slope of the line between the points 2k and 3, 4 is 4. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to mark it x1, y1 and x2, y2. Try and find out. So slope m equals y2 minus y1, so 4 minus k over x2 minus x1, 3 minus 2. And of course we know that the slope is 4, it's given. So we get 4 minus k over 1 equals 4. And if we cross multiply, we get 4 minus k. Of course, it doesn't matter, but 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract 4 to the other side, and we get negative k equals 0. So k equals 0. It's perfectly okay to have that as the answer. Question 4. Find the slope between the points 2, 7. Well, let's find the equation, sorry. Let's just put these in as x2, y2 as we did before. So we know the slope of this line is y2 minus y1, 13 minus 7, over x2 minus x1, 4 minus 2. 6 over 2 equals 3. Now from the video, that answer goes into this equation. And the m is what we found here, 3. So that substitutes for that, 3x plus b. How do we find b? Sub for one of the points we've given. Take your choice, 2, 7 or 4, 13. Wrong question. Let's substitute for 2, 7. So the 7 is the y value. And the 2 is the x value. And therefore we get 7 equals 3 times 2, because the x is 2, plus b. 7 equals 6 plus b. Subtract 6 and b equals 1. Therefore our final answer is y equals, it goes back into here, y equals 3x plus b, or b is 1. Final question. Find the equation of the line. What would help if we knew what the other point was? We can't quite see it. So that point there is the point negative 2, 2, which we can't quite see. So we'll put it in now, negative 2, comma 2. So the same thing, we're going to find the slope. So we know that slope is question 5. Slope equals y2 minus y1, so say 14 minus 2. x2 minus x1, 4 minus negative 2. Not sure this is going to work out. Yes, it is 12 on top and 6 on the bottom, so the slope is 2. Y equals mx plus b. We're going to put that m into there, 2. So we get y equals 2x plus b. How do we find b? Well, we find b by sub for either point. Let's go for 4, 14. Always write this bit in red down every time, because it just shows whoever's marking your work, you know what you're talking about. The 14 is going to replace the y, and the 4 is going to replace the x. So 14 equals 2 times 4 plus b. 2 times 4 is 8, and if we subtract 8 to the other side, we get 6, is b. Final answer goes into here, so we get y equals 2x plus 6.